call to order the January 4th, 2022 workshop meeting of Plymouth Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will just ask quickly up front here, we only have a few microphones in the room, so for anybody presenting tonight or anybody speaking, we just ask that everybody try to, speak as loud as you can and as clear as you can, just so it comes across on the audio. I know it's tough with the masks, so just do our best here. We do have one presentation tonight, and it's the Plymouth Meeting Readiness Center. You guys here to present? You can just make your way to the table.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Pete Myers. I'm going to close down a little bit if that's okay so you can hear me a little more clearly. My name is Pete Myers. I'm a civil engineer with Hunt Engineering Company in Malvern. Here just to present a quick overview of the Plymouth Readiness Center project on Belvoir Road. We sent a set of plans into the township for review and consideration because it's a little bit of a unique project and we wanted to get some direction from the township regarding the permitting path, if any, for a project like this. What we've got is a renovation of the existing Readiness Center that's there. It's Army National Guard that uses the center today. With me are representatives from DMVA and from the Architect's Office, so if there are questions about the use of the building itself, I'd be happy to answer those. But in essence, all it is a renovation project. We've got an existing building in the Readiness Center itself, the Readiness Center Annex, both of which are going to have, the Readiness Center Annex is going to have major renovations, but the building itself will remain as is, where is. There is a small existing maintenance building that will be demolished, but from a land development standpoint, there really isn't anything that we believe would trigger land development or the need for the land development process, but we wanted to at least submit the plans to the township, get some input, and that's why we're here this evening. I don't know if anybody has the plans already or has looked at them or has questions about them, but I have a half-size and a full-size set and would be happy to answer any particulars about the question, about the project itself. From an impervious coverage standpoint, there's really no significant increase in impervious coverage. There's an existing gravel lot that they're proposing to pave. The gravel's been used to store heavy equipment for years, so it'll just be putting asphalt over what's already compacted stone. There'll be the demolition of an existing building that'll be stabilized and replaced with grass. And there'll be some of the landscape out there that's on a steep slope that's a maintenance and security issue that is going to be removed and stabilized with just a gravel embankment. DGS, Department of General Service of the state of Pennsylvania, doesn't need to pull building permits from the township. They get them through the state L&I, so there's no need to come in for a building permit. But certainly if there were any grading permits or anything like that that would be needed, we wanted some direction from the township prior to proceeding with the full permitting process. We believe we're under an acre of disturbance from a NPDES permit standpoint. It wouldn't trigger the need for that. The only reason that it might trigger over an acre of earth disturbance is if you considered paving on top of that already in place stone to be earth disturbance, which for most municipalities it's not. But again, we wanted some direction from the township on that. So I've done a lot of talking. Are there any questions or anything I can answer for the township?
One thing I can help for the benefit of our council Please. And our solicitor. I know that Tim Woodrow, the township engineer, Ronnie's from his department, yep. but Tim actually did review the plans.
Okay.
And he does feel that some stormwater management and other issues need to be addressed, mm-hmm. and he does think it could be accomplished with a land development waiver, or if you decide not even that, but he does think grading permits will be needed, and some stormwater management.
And thank you for that. We do have conceptual stormwater management shown on these plans, so I would think at a minimum a grading permit or something like that, and that would trigger the need for a stormwater review by the township engineer, which
Correct.
We would fully anticipate complying with.
Yeah, the conversion of the gravel compact stone to impervious paving would trigger that in itself.
Okay,
Okay, and we'll take a closer look at the impervious coverage calculations just to make sure that you're not over the 1 acre threshold.
very good.
All right. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything else that.
No, I would agree, and I think the way it's been presented with how the permits, what permits the township can require and what they cannot is accurate, so.
Okay. And to be clear, it's actually going to be a slightly less intense use once it's done. Some of the elements that train there now are being moved as part of this project over to what used to be the Willow Grove Naval Air Station. So it's not like you have a lot more troops training there. If anything, it's going to be a slightly less intense use once these renovations are done. So I think that's just important for the township to understand too.
Okay, I
Yes,
had a
ma'am.
few questions, some of which, thank you, Lonnie, you answered. In the building that's going to be demolished, will that be replaced, or is that turning into a parking lot?
It's not going to be a parking lot. It's just going to be stabilized and green. I don't believe we have any
gonna
proposed
be
use for
green?
that.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be.
there's grass.
Yes. So it was
Oh,
the-
okay.
Swale, there's some movement of water, I think they can control it.
It's probably gonna be nearly impossible for you to be picked up on the microphones. So if you have anything to say, you're gonna need to come forward. Please
I'll
identify
I'll
yourself.
answer for him. I just wanted to confirm, but no, there's not going to be a new building or actually any new impervious associated with that. It'll just be stabilized with lawn and green.
Okay, and the green that you're moving, and you're gonna replace it with stone, this embankment,
Yes, ma'am.
is that only like grass-type vegetation? I assume there are no trees, I didn't drive by to look at it.
There's
but-
no significant trees. I think it's basically low landscaping and grasses that are there now that are just a maintenance and security issue. So no, there's no forest clearing or anything like that. It's just low-growing landscape that'll be removed on that embankment.
Okay.
And I think that's only there pretty much to stabilize the embankment today.
All right, thank you. And my big concern, which Lonnie did address, is the stormwater management.
Sure.
As always in Plymouth Township, it's an issue, probably for everybody, but I know definitely around here.
No doubt. There's an existing stormwater basin in the back of the property today, but as part of this, we are proposing stormwater management to address the township stormwater management code, even as part of a grading permit process.
Yeah, that basin in the back
It's old.
doesn't meet any standards
Yeah,
that go on today.
it's a bit dated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question.
Please.
It doesn't deal with any of the expert types of things, but just a simple question. In general, just curious how the use there is going to be different than what it is now, or what types of, I guess business is going to be different than what they do there now.
So right now, I'm sorry, the actual unit that trains there escapes me, but essentially what happens is they've got units that train there. A portion of that unit will no longer train there. They're going to deploy or be reassigned to a new building that, in conjunction with this, is going to be renovated over in Horsham at the old Willow Grove Naval Air Station. So you're not going to see really any change in use. It's going to be the same use, just in a less intense,
less.
a less populated use of it.
Got it. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just have one. In the waiver of the land development process, are we at risk of being challenged if we deny it in the future to other applicants, if we approve this?
No, you're gonna review every project on its own merits and on its own facts, and every project is unique. So if you grant a waiver of land development to this project, it does not mean that impacts us with the next project that comes in. We'll review that based on those individual facts of that project.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
All right. Guess that's it.
Okay. Thanks very much for your
Thank you.
time, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
You may not be able to do it.
That's what I'm thinking. So maybe it's more permits than doing it.
Right, it could be. You're maybe able to do it.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily.
I would,
Say just permits, go with the permits versus go waiver of land development, coming back to council with a waiver behind
I don't think we need to make that decision tonight, yeah. I think, Tim, says it qualifies, Dave thinks it qualifies as a waiver of land development. Yeah,
That's the main difference. From being a state type agency.
right, but with the waiver, we're gonna get our fees.
You normally do.
Yeah.
But would you get this kind of project?
Well, you might, and then have them tell us, no. Yeah.
We, no other presentations, correct?
Correct.
Is that rescheduled or is?
Yes, that it will be, it is rescheduled to the February workshop and the February zoning hearing, that application, if anybody's here for that mansion house. So that won't be
So
on.
that nothing's gonna happen until the February meeting?
Yeah, correct. Council will have, there'll be a presentation on February 7th before council at 6 o'clock right here. And then they gave us, they gave a 1-month extension on their application to be heard by the zoning hearing board to February 21st. So that meeting will also be in this building. I'm not sure if the zoning's in this room or not, but they'll certainly be in this building on February 21st for the zoning hearing.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Sorry for that. Got you out of the house, got something to do.
And it just got canceled today, so we apologize.
That's good, thank you.
Happy New Year.
So we have 3 resolutions for next week. We have a 20 years of service resolution for Kyle Wilhelm. Anybody want to volunteer to read that one?
I'll take that one. I'm sorry, Kathy.
I'm going to take the recognition for Jeff McGee and a recognition for Officer David Phillips.
I'll take it.
Lynn? Going down to administration, deputy tax collector appointment resolution.
So I'll just tell you, this resolution is to appoint Berkheimer as the tax collector for real estate taxes for Plymouth Township going forward, but we are still working on the actual agreement. It's been reviewed by Mike's office and some changes were suggested. We gave them back to Berkheimer and their attorney is now just looking at the changes that the township's requesting. So I'm sure hoping that by the end of the week, we'll have all those questions and answers hammered out, so we'll have the actual proposal ready to be signed, as well as this resolution to be acted upon next Monday night.
Anybody want to read that one next week?
I'll read it.
Karen? Our liquor license fee resolution?
Yes,
I
as
can read.
you might recall, we had recently, for Ruby Tuesday, they had a liquor license transfer from like their Pottstown store to the Township Plymouth store. And we have not changed the price of an application for a liquor license in 19 years. So we just about, covered the fees. It does say that you can you can charge extra if your fees go over the application fee. But I felt, and they did, they actually went very, very close to it. It basically took the full amount of money that was charged as the fee. So I'm just suggesting if council would want to increase this fee to $1,500. It's presently $1,000, and it hasn't changed in 19 years.
I see no issue.
I'd be happy to read it.
Anybody have any questions? All right. Kathy, it's all yours.
I will be here in person, hopefully,
Have fingers crossed, Kathy.
hopefully.
All right, our general construction bid award. Is this wood?
Yeah, so I guess you have the memo there from Mike's office that Rycon Construction Incorporated is qualified for the award of the general construction for the campus renovation project. So that would be, if you have no further questions or problems, something that would take place next Monday night.
Is that just a intent to, or notice to award.
Notice to award, you'd be actually awarding the bid.
Yep.
And that's, you don't have to read that, do you? That's not a you, that's not a Mike Clark read?
I don't think so. No, that's just a motion.
I'll do it. Any questions? All right. Delinquent business privilege and mercantile tax collection.
Yeah. So you have the memo, this is one of Tim's parting memos.
Oh,
Okay.
And,
Go Tim, yes.
yeah, so, I mean, I guess if you have a chance to read this here, he's either asking for a little more active involvement in pursuing delinquent businesses in their mercantile and business privilege taxes, or another option, he says, would be to hire a collection agency, or you know, someone else who could help us perform the function. So,
What's most effective? Which choice?
Whose phone is that?
mine.
Kathy.
Okay. Can it be,
Yeah,
can the volume be raised a little?
Yeah.
Because I think,
Upper button.
the law requires that Kathy be heard in the room, and
Do
if
I
I'm
have to
having,
have her on the speaker too? The speakerphone on?
Yeah, but the volume wasn't all the way up,
Oh,
so I
sorry.
turned it up. Oh,
Kathy, can you give us a test talk?
Hello?
much better.
Which of these choices would be most effective?
So, I guess any answer I'm going to give may sound a little self-serving, but I'll
read the memo.
I'll be, tell you what our experience has been. Most of our clients who have gone out to collection agencies for liens have eventually abandoned the collection agency and come back to us because they find that the process is just much simpler and much more streamlined when our office is handling it. It's essentially the generation of a letter and letting them know that they're going to be liened or they're going to be taken to district court. And then once they go to district court, that a judgment's going to be entered against them. And because we do this so often, the process is pretty efficient. So I don't know of any of my clients that are using a collection agency right now.
That sounds good. What's your like effectiveness? Like what percentage do you manage to get collected?
Off the top of my head, Kathy, I couldn't tell you that. I think that the way we look at it is when the business is associated with a property that is owned by the business, and if you're able to lien the business, it's effective in that you're going to eventually collect, because at some point in time, they're going to refinance that property, or they're going to sell that property, so you're going to be able to get paid at that point in time. But off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what our percentages are. And candidly, again, I don't really think we track it after the fact. We do what we need to do and then wait for, then the money comes in, and normally the finance directors don't tell us, other than telling us to remove a lien.
Okay.
Question answered?
Thank you, Mike.
Any other questions?
Well, I just have a comment. I think it's unfair to, especially the small businesses that are paying their taxes for other businesses, to go delinquent. I mean, we have a lot of really great small businesses here in Plymouth, and I appreciate them pulling their weight, and I don't think they should be bearing the burden if there are others that are not. So I like the idea of going after those delinquents.
I would agree.
I totally agree with you, Karen.
We'll get more of whatever we tolerate, so.
Kellen, anything to add?
So, yeah,
Well,
yeah, staff,
yeah,
yeah.
yep.
That's nothing that has to be read.
No, that'll come off.
the National Opioids Settlement Forms.
So actually, council voted last month to participate in this settlement. So actually, just wanted to, I'll put the forms, I have them here, I'll have you sign them afterwards unless there's any other questions with new council members. But it's a national settlement for, opioid litigation. So the money, if we get any money, it, I guess, can help reimburse us for Narcan and training and other things like that. So,
Anything else under administration not listed?
no, thank you.
Chief?
Yes, thank you. I'm just asking for authorization to purchase the 3 patrol vehicles that were previously approved in the budget for 2022.
Any questions?
So say for new council members, even though the budget was recently adopted in December, any large items, usually over $10,000, we come back to council and ask to actually purchase some really large ticket items. We're going to have, this time of year, there's going to be a few, because the budget just got approved, and it can take many months to actually receive the cars.
I still don't have
trucks and-
2021's car.
Really?
And,
No.
It has to come in, it has to get lettered, it has to get emergency lighting, which is where it's at now.
Oh,
And when they have cities that are ordering hundreds, we're at the bottom of the list. So that's why I wanted to get a jump on it and start.
Does that backlog of a 2021 car impact the 2022 budget in any way?
No, it was ordered and paid for. It's just, there's so many steps that it has to go through, and they're all a different, one dealer, one person that letters, another place that does emergency lighting. So it's just a long process.
So-
This is particularly long.
Yeah, and so financially speaking, all purchase orders and things get encumbered. That money is already encumbered, so it's like it's spent, say for last year's purchases.
Right.
It won't affect this year's budget.
Sounds good.
So there's, go ahead, Chief, if the Chief has anything else?
No, that was all. I'm just asking for authorization to do that.
Okay.
Good.
Everybody's good with that? So I'll take that off the agenda too. It's usually just brought up at this type of a workshop type meeting. It's not, you've already, put it into the budget. But before you move on, I know Rick has also a similar authorization request from the
Yeah,
budget.
I apologize for not sending a memo. I was out last week, but I have also in the 2022 budget, 2 turf mowers that were budgeted that I would like to get authorization to order. I didn't want to wait till February because they tell me if I wait, there's a good possibility I won't get them. So I'm just asking for council's approval or authorization to go ahead and order those mowers.
Good to me.
sounds good.
John, anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, Public Works, snow announcement. One of the new people has to read the snow announcement.
I'll do
That's
Yeah, Nick.
Nick's first read.
Be aware, you will be held responsible if it snows. That's what comes with reading it.
The snow announcement. And then the liquid fuels authorized expenditure resolution.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Benefit of the new folks, that's an annual resolution on how we spend the money we get from the state, the gasoline tax money, and what we're allowed to spend it on. And we have to do this each year in January.
Anything else, Public Works?
No, thank you.
Lonnie?
Well, first, I appreciate you not skipping over me this month. I just wanted to bring you an update on the village station project on Butler Pike. Part of the project was to tie in a sanitary sewer from village station to a manhole in CVS. And that work's been completed, but they had to go through some sidewalk, and then they had to install the sidewalk in front of the CVS to make the connection so it's all connected. That work has taken an insanely long amount of time to do. And we've been on these guys constantly to get the work done. It seems like the problems between the weather and a supply problem with concrete has delayed the project to this point. But I was told this morning that they have scheduled it for Thursday. So, weather permitting, we're supposed to have a storm event possibly on Wednesday, but weather permitting, that work will be done, and we can get that eyesore out of the way. It's in a bad spot because it's right when you come into Plymouth Township, and we've been trying to get these guys to finish that, and between not getting work crews, not getting concrete, and weather, it's just taking forever. So hopefully, I'm surprised you haven't called me about that.
They tore it up quick. They tore it up quickly.
Yeah,
They just
they
didn't
did.
get
Tore
it.
it up and they left it.
I pass it every day, living on Butler. So can concrete set in freezing
Yeah, so,
temperatures?
so what has to happen is, the stone base it's formed, the stone's put down, and it's tamped. And they can do it if overnight they put blankets on the stone so it doesn't freeze, and if the temperature is 32 and rising when the concrete comes to the job. Can't be below 32 degrees, or we don't let them pour it.
Okay. Thanks.
Anything else?
That's it.
Let's see, first action is extension for 201 Plymouth Road. That is Lynn.
Okay.
2622 Butler, Kathy?
Me?
Oh, no, is that Karen?
That's Lynn, that's
Lynn.
Lynn, that was Marty, so.
Okay. "107 Ridge." That's
That's Kathy.
Kathy.
Me. That's me. It's flocked.
317 Ridge, that's also Kathy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the escrow release for 1103 to 1113 Ridge is Nick, correct?
Yes.
Anything else under subdivision? Anything not listed there?
No, nope, no more, it's good.
Code enforcement.
Plymouth Mill League is asked for a waiver, we're going to put in a new batting cage, and they want a waiver of your fees. Usually, most of the kids are from Plymouth. I understand there are a few that are outside Plymouth, and usually if you waive your fee, the third party will waive their fees.
Anybody have any objection to waiving the fee?
I don't.
Nope.
Okay, the second one is Plymouth Fire Company is putting up a new sign, and it's basically the same type of sign that you waive the fees for Harmonville a few months back.
Any objections?
No objection.
All right.
No objection.
Okay, third thing I have to do.
I was gonna say, at number C, I think we'd like to move to a closed session,
Okay.
if that's okay.
And
Is that allowed?
They could be potential.
Yeah, we can talk about it, and then if we,
Decide.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then decide. Yep.
okay, the last one would be Tracer software. That's in the budget. The software we're using now for permits and everything will not be able to be used after this year. So we did some research and found out Tracer would be our best bet replacement. And I like to get authorization to start that purchase so we can implement it, which will take several months to do. And I think, Karen, we figured what, 45,100 will be the initial thing, but nothing will be paid until after they get it up and running according to what they've been telling us.
Yeah. It was $74,000 in the budget. So this came in at 45,100, which is great. They will need some tablets and other things, and, some, I guess, a couple pieces of hardware to go with the software, but certainly it was all budgeted for. And Mike and Jim went to which other township? Upper Marion,
Upper Marion,
I mean, saw it in action.
and solid actually in action, and talk to other people, and it seems like the best thing is, there's several municipalities around us that are already using it.
Yeah, I don't know if Ronnie, you're familiar with
Yes.
McMahon.
Yeah, McMahon, yeah.
Developed, a local company from Washington developed this, and they have a list, 40 or 50 townships
Yeah.
in
I
this
think
area. that they
Springfield's
sold it
probably the
to.
closest one, they use it.
And Upper Marion, there's a whole long list of local townships
White
all
Marsh,
using.
Whit Payne, Lower Providence, Lower Marion, Upper Marion, just to name a few around us.
And this is, it's basically for fire inspections, or is it for all?
It's going to
Building
be fire
permits.
inspections, it's going to be
Everything.
building permits, building inspections, everything is going to actually come under this one program. And it's also going to probably, we will not be using laser peak anymore, which is basically our storage thing. All that should be able to be moved into this one system.
Yeah, how many years do we have in Municity, Jim? Do you know? How many years for Municity? The current solid years?
08,
Okay.
it was the earliest date I think that was actually done in this.
Going the way of the
It was here when I got
blackbird.
here in 09.
Well, look, the headline of the memo says transforming local government, so, I mean, that sounds good to me.
The nice part about it, it's also going to allow us to do everything
Has anyone looked into
online. You'll be able to submit permits online, you'll be able to pay for them
We don't
online,
usually for
you'll be able to do
software.
more inspections online.
Do you want to
So
talk about
we're going to cut our time as far as
Well,
inspection down
You're
because
right, for software,
they won't have
you
to go out and do
can,
the
you can
inspection
say
and
it's
come back and let us know
proprietary,
that's
yeah.
all can be done
But I would want to
through
take
the
a,
software.
just a look, just so we're all
Okay.
covered.
Yeah, because they've explored a couple other, they did actually have a couple other vendors come in.
Five, I think, total we had.
Yeah, so they,
Five.
watched the demonstrations from others. Mike's thinking maybe they should take a look at it for, just to be sure.
It,
But,
it
but-
probably falls into the category of proprietary, and we don't need to bid it, but we would just want to make sure.
Okay.
So, yep.
Yeah, they did have 5 vendors come in, show their programs and what they have and what they do, and they were, liking this one the way it works best. So, hopefully it'll fall into that category for us.
Any other questions? All right. Is that it? Then we'll save
That's
the other
it for
one.
me.
Yep. Save the other one for executive.
Yes. Mike, do you think we would know by Friday, or should I just take it off altogether?
No, I think
We could know?
today's Tuesday, right? By Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll know.
Mike, do you need the other people that I looked at, or?
No, just this, is this all we have with the proposal that's in the book? And that's, if you send me their contact information, I'm sure that'll be the quickest way we can get through it, so.
Okay,
Yep,
before I leave tonight, I'll try to get his info.
thanks.
Yeah. Did they say anything about co-stars at all, or not? I don't know. Just asking, just because
I
if
don't
it,
remember asking that question.
what's that?
I don't remember
Okay,
asking
we
that
never even
question.
asked, so, yeah, okay.
Anything else, Jim?
That's it for me.
Anything with the zoning? The last one, is that anything we need to talk about?
Yeah, the zoning one has the Mansion House has been postponed to February 21st. And like I said, the presentation will be next workshop on the 7th. The other 3 are residential, and I don't see any issue with them.
Any volunteers to read the zoning?
I'll take it.
Karen, it is.
I gave you a chance, Kathy, I didn't jump on it.
That's okay. I'll defer to you.
All right, service and devotion, bricks and pavers. Anybody want to read that announcement? That's an
Sure,
easy
I'll
one.
take it.
Lynn? Mr. Brady, anything else for Parks and Rec?
No, well, we'll have a bunch for February.
Oh.
Promises made, promises
I'll
kept.
be back.
Okay.
For the citizen board vacancy announcements, Anybody want to read?
I'll read that one.
Nick?
Chris, we do have one more request.
Yeah, again,
You're
sorry.
now, you missed your turn.
Sorry for, again, for, having a memo, but, as part of the construction for the, municipal building, we're responsible for contracting with the, outside engineering firm to do some, like, construction testing. So we sent out a RFP for, prices for the testing that we need to do for the construction project. So I would like to ask council's approval to, hire, David Blackmore and Associates as a professional service to complete those tests for the, construction project. And if that has to be done Monday, then I can get a memo together for the meeting for Monday.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
We're okay on that one, Mike?
Yeah, I believe so. We'll get everything together. We'll be able to take a look before Monday.
Yeah, I'll give you the RFPs and.
Yep, yep.
There were three engineers that sent.
Then,
proposals,
yeah.
so.
They're engineering, so it's a professional service. It doesn't have to be bid.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll take a look at the agreement. Is there a proposed agreement with it, or?
Not an agreement, just the actual RFP
Okay.
price and the different testing.
Yeah, we'll be able to turn that around very quickly.
For concrete cylinders, that kind of testing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What else
slump
is there?
testing,
Probably not.
compaction testing, I mean, a lot of times there's a lot of different tests that we're responsible to perform for the construction project.
Pretty much on our end.
All right. Anything else?
Anybody else?
All right. If not, we'll adjourn and move to executive session.
Okay.